Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We are going to talk about dealing with in-home management challenges, and we are here today with Patrick Bongaerts, our commercial product manager. So in a short few moments we will start with the presentation, but first I want to let you know that you can submit your questions in the question and answer box on either the left or the right hand side of your screen, and we'll get to them after the presentation. So enjoy the presentation and let's get into it.
Okay, thank you, Aisha, for the introduction. My name is Patrick Bongaerts. I'm the product manager of connectivity management portfolio. Today I would like to discuss dealing with in-home management challenges. And I would like to go through a couple of points today. First of all, a short introduction to Genexis, who we are and what we do. Then I would like to take a close look at what's happening in the market, the technology trends we are experiencing and their reflection on cloud management. Then I would like to take a closer look at cloud management. And finally introduce Genexis CloudSight, our own cloud management solution for provisioning and help desk functionality. Then about Genexis. We're a European company with central offices in Stockholm and Eindhoven. And this year we celebrate our 20th anniversary. And we're very experienced in FTTH and broadband industry. And our typical customers are passive network installers, network operators, service providers throughout all Europe. We're an independent vendor. We offer interoperable solutions. And we form together with IOPSIS a strong group of software and hardware developers in the Inteno group. Throughout Europe, we have 9 offices, so we have a very local presence, and we're a fast-growing company with more than 140 employees at this point, and the vast majority is busy and occupied with the development. Then if we take a closer look at our products, we have 3 product ranges. The first one is the fiber to the home product range. It's all about terminating the fiber in a very easy and patented way. We call that the fiber twist. We cover almost every deployment scenario here, from GPON, XGS point to point, 1 to 10 gig, and the typical services like CAT-V and voice. And we use the InterOS software on these fiber to the home devices. Then we have the connected home portfolio, and this is all about distributing the internet throughout the home with a fiber speed fully managed gateway and extender and router on Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 5, and it's using the Genexis software. It's a carrier grade high quality software that we use for all these devices. And it works perfectly together with the fiber to the home portfolio. Moreover, there is an all-in-one solution that covers the layer 2 and the layer 3 devices for the fiber to the home and connected home portfolio. And then finally, we have the connectivity management portfolio that consists of everything that has to do with managing the in-home devices, the services, and the in-home networks from remote. I come back to that in a couple of minutes, but we made device management real easy, from basic provisioning to the prevention of help desk calls. And we use our CloudSight software for that. And this is in-home developed in the past 10 years, very closely with our customers and end users. So then, why a webinar, a presentation on cloud management? Well, we believe it has a huge impact on your business and customer satisfaction if you use cloud management the right way. And it bridges the network, the support, the sales, and the business strategies you run currently. So there's a lot of things going on with legacy infrastructure and new future devices, smart homes, and so on. So this is influencing the business strategy you take and the opportunities you take with that. And cloud management can really help you ease things and be flexible on your future developments. So if you look at the market today, well, a couple of market observations, which obviously is nothing new. But you can say that there is a lot of technological developments like IoT, smart homes, artificial intelligence, but also closer to home, Wi-Fi 6 and 7. There's a digital transformation going on, and this is ongoing. Obviously, after COVID, you see that working from home is growing fastly, but also the transformation of e-health and metering services and so on. So this is something to look at also if you want to choose the right cloud management solution. Then we have regulatory changes with GDPR and data privacy and security changes. So there is you have to keep an eye on the regulatory aspect as well, and the ongoing battle for the customer. So it's not only about speed and price, but it's also about differentiating services in the market and make sure you make the right decisions and the right choices to offer the right and future services. And big data, of course, there's a lot of data at your disposal, but you have to be very keen that you only use the personal data that is allowed for, and to use that in a very efficient and flexible way. So there's a lot to take in, and well, management tooling is driving this innovation, you can say. If you have the right management tooling and cloud management solutions, the quality of experience management can be managed from there. The multi-device and service management, so you see in-home more and more devices and services that have to be managed. Wi-Fi, of course, that plays an important role in the quality of experience, needs to be managed from remote and by the customer himself. And then the open multi-provider management that allows for multiple providers taking care of multiple equipments. So it's becoming a rather complex play with multiple devices, multiple services, multiple providers. Yeah, you have to make the right choice and make it as easy as possible on the cloud management part. And then, of course, there is the consumer, the typical consumer. If you look at a household, you can say that, well, gamers in the household, they want low latency. You have home workers, they need a reliable quality of service and a reliable connectivity. Parents, they want control over the content, access and security. There's public services that want e-metering and e-services, and everyone wants the best possible connectivity to the device. And to make it even more complex, probably a typical household is a mixture of all these requirements and needs. And then if you look into the in-home management, you see that more and more devices are connected to the home. There is a better connectivity and there's more technology coming towards the home, like cloud management, IoT, and artificial intelligence. And data privacy and cybersecurity concerns rise with that. So that is something to look at. And then from the subscriber himself, from the end user point, well, there is a need for maximum reliability on the connection. And a typical customer wants good and efficient customer support. They want Wi-Fi coverage in every room. And obviously they want the speed and the service that they have paid for. The optimal delivery of high quality streaming and basic protection. So from a end user perspective, these are the top 5 or 6 needs and requirements they have, and they want to cover it in their proposition. And then if we look at the service providers, they also recognize the need for additional services. So a survey has been done and has been conducted, and you see that the typical service providers, they really see the importance of having extra additional services on top of the CPE software. And if you look at the top 3, it's all about Wi-Fi, troubleshooting, control, parental controls, and IoT cybersecurity. So there is a absolute need to manage all these kind of value-added services. You see that the customer on one hand is willing to pay for it, And on the other hand, the service provider sees this as a very logical next step in their service delivery. And the good thing is that about 90% of the subscribers, they use the service providers provided devices as the in-home gateway. So that offers a huge opportunity there. Then if we look at the development of the smart home, well, basically, like mentioned, there is a lot of things going on inside the home. But a typical value-added service would be home security. You see that the end user, there is a high willingness to pay extra for it by the end user. And as a service provider, you can benefit if you have a partnership with a security provider here. Then from home automation part, you see that there is less willingness to pay extra for these kind of services by the end user. But there is an opportunity and upsell potential, especially if you combine it with security services. And from smart energy, well, obviously there's a lot of data available, and by partnering with energy companies, for instance, or energy service providers on that end, you can offer analytics based on temperature or other parameters and make sure that you can offer added services there. And then last but not least, digital health. You see that people staying in home longer, and obviously this leads to aging in place, and you might want to offer remote patient monitoring services and telemedicine. So the e-health is taking place there as well. So all these developments in home, obviously they ask for a more complex and more robust cloud management system to unify and control these services from a single point. Then if you look at the broadband market, it's not all about speed and price. It's very service oriented. You see that improved quality and improved connectivity and extended service offerings are a way to differentiate yourself in the market. Obviously, speed and price stays important, but the real growth is coming from extra services. So to summarize all this, you can say, well, home networks are getting more and more complex. There is an opportunity, a huge opportunity in the value-added security, control, and support services. And from a customer and end user point of view, you see the increased need for quality, low latency, and speed. And to monitor and manage all this, a cloud management platform is of essence. So if we look at our definition of connectivity management, we say it's a cloud-based platform which had to take full remote control of every aspect of home connectivity by provisioning, monitoring, and managing devices, services, and in-home networks. Then if you look at the dimensions of cloud management, with typical cloud management solution, you can manage all devices. It's not only different devices in home, but also legacy devices and future devices. So by having a standardized open solution, you can combine all kinds of devices, and cloud management helps you to manage that from one instance. All services, not only the traditional voice, data, and video services, but also security services and all the in-home services you can organize from one central instance and all data. So there is a lot of data available in the different devices in home. By collecting and combining and analyzing the data and using artificial intelligence and machine learning, you can optimize your quality of experience a lot. And you want to do this in a unified, remote, and efficient way. So maybe you recognize this slide on the left-hand side. It's about the expectations and the needs of the typical customer and end user. And if you want to meet those needs, obviously you need high-quality devices, but also a high-quality cloud management platform. So if you look at the first need, the connectivity with maximum reliability, you can say that this is covered in the high quality CPE in the device itself, with by offering a managed gateway with great performance and have stable firmware in the gateway. And obviously, from a management perspective, you want frequent firmware updates to keep the firmware in the gateway stable. And to offer Wi-Fi with full coverage in the home. This is mainly presented by the high quality CPE. So by having managed extenders for home coverage and stable firmware, you can make sure that Wi-Fi has full coverage in home. Then for the basic protection from hacks and malware, obviously this is all about having stable firmware in gateways and have frequent firmware upgrades, which can be done in cloud management solution. Then offer efficient customer support. This is all about high quality cloud management. So if you use a cloud management solution that allows for preventive and proactive support inside. So if a customer calls in, has a problem, you can look at the problem and find the resolution in seconds. And then have a professional tool for support from remote and do quality of experience monitoring. So cloud management is absolutely essential in offering good and efficient customer support, I would say. And then if the customer wants the speed he actually pays for, that can be done with quality experience monitoring. By monitoring this, and if something is off, and proactively act on any abnormalities, that you can guarantee that the customer gets the speed he pays for, or look at the customer premises and then see if something is off with the gateway or eventually the clients. And then the optimal delivery of high quality streaming, that can be done with quality of experience monitoring itself. So basically what this picture shows is that having a high quality cloud management tool, you can manage a lot of the expectations and needs that the customer has. So it's very useful to think about this cloud management solution. And then if you look at cloud management, you can say that it plays an important role in data collection. So in this picture, you see the device at the center. There's a lot of data coming from the device and coming from the surrounding and the clients connected to the device. And this data streaming is a continuous stream of useful data. And with data analytics, the cloud management offers the possibility to analyze the data, to only use the data that is needed and useful, to store the data and combine all kinds of data sources to make sure that if there is a problem, you can detect the problem at the right end. Data visualization, of course, important to show how the topology and the network is built up, and all the data sets can be put in nice graphs and visualization. And then, of course, very important, the data protection. A cloud management solution typically protects the data that's coming out of the devices, because there is also some part of personal data, and you want to extremely protect that data, and that's can be done with cloud management. So in general, you can say that having a cloud management solution is essential in your business. And I would like to bridge to our Genexis cloud management solution called CloudSight. It's a vendor-neutral device management solution, can be used for management, provisioning, and troubleshooting for any device, and it's really easy and ready to use. So if you look at the components, the building blocks of CloudSight or cloud management solution, you can say it starts with professional services. So there's a business support available that helps in onboarding and setup and configuration. and make sure you get the modules and the elements you need for your business, and it's configured to your device park, to your services, and yeah, you're ready to go. Then we have the service support, which is a SLA committed 24/7 support crew, that if something is off or you need help or you have specific questions, there is a typical support for that, and we do that 24/7, 365, and you can rely on these services when needed. And then we have managed services like hosting services that allow for a hosted solution. Obviously, CloudSight can run on-premise in your own server. You can have a hosted solution yourself, or we can host a CloudSight for you. And then if you take a look at the platform, we make sure that there is a secure cloud platform and infrastructure available. So it's highly secure and highly functional. You can integrate CloudSight with northbound OSS, BSS environments and southbound with any type of device. We use RESTful APIs to do that. And then you have data analytics to make sure that all the data sets that are being derived from the device are being used and combined and stored in a fashion that you can have proactive and preventive support and have real-time insights for troubleshooting. And then basically, if you look at CloudSight, there is a part that takes care of the network operations. It's all about device lifecycle management. So as a network operator, you can always see the devices and the service inventory. You know exactly what type of devices with what firmware and what services are being deployed at what point in the network. Firmware updates are very easy to deploy, and there's something we call easy provisioning. These are predefined scripts that help you with provisioning scenarios and rolling out new software, new devices, new services, and that's made very easy and error-free. And then we have quality of service measuring. It's a constant measuring of the quality of service of the device park. So if something is off, you can receive an alarm or a notification and make sure you can act on that. And then another part of CloudSight is looking at the customer operations part. And that is all about service activation, proactive customer support. So make sure that you see the problem before a customer sees it. And by using these historic data combined with real-time data, it's rather easy to resolve these problems before customers calls, which has a huge impact also on the customer satisfaction. And then there's help desk support and an automated help desk integration in your omni-channel service channels. And we have a self-support possibility with a mobile app on iOS and Android. So the customer is able to define specific optimizations and to self-install his Wi-Fi configuration. So there's a lot of tools also in here to help the customer prevent the problems, but also resolve the problems if something occurs in the network. And then, of course, there's KPI monitoring, dashboards, and reporting. Make sure that you get this overall view of your network, of your device park, and you can set the performance indicators. CloudSight makes sure that there is a continuous monitoring here and visualizes that in nice dashboards and reports. And like I said, you can connect, API connect CloudSight to your OSS BSS environment on northbound side. Make sure that it's integrated in your order management tool or your network management tool. And then southbound, you can connect different devices. It's not only Genexis devices, but also TR69 and in future TR369 USB devices for smart home devices. So basically, it covers, based on standard, any device that's actually being deployed in your network. To summarize, you can say the key features of CloudSight is the troubleshooting and real-time device monitoring. There's proactive problem resolution. It's an open and vendor-neutral device lifecycle management system, which takes care of the whole lifecycle. You can see on the right-hand side. There's easy provisioning with predefined scripts, which is highly functional and highly usable. And there's a self-management possibility with mobile apps to allow the customer and empower the end user by doing things himself with the Wi-Fi network. So yeah, we talked a little bit about this, the business benefits. There is obviously a lot if you deploy CloudSight. But just to get more view on that, a couple of business benefits you can say, well, there is less cost involved, doing things from remote, installing, provisioning, resolving problems, that obviously saves a lot of truck rolls. Proactive management saves a lot of calls, and if a customer calls in, there is a lower average handling time, which obviously not only saves cost, but also improves the customer satisfaction. And there is a first-time fix because you have a system that actually dives into the problem, combines historic data with real-time data, and with the AI functionality in there, make sure that we find the problem very fast and you have a first-time fix. Then CloudSight makes things very flexible, vendor neutral. So no matter what your legacy infrastructure looks like, if it's based on the right standards, you can integrate it in CloudSight. There is an OSS BSS integration, so it's highly flexible on that side as well to make sure that CloudSight is integrated in your order management and network management system. And if you use third-party applications like business intelligence applications, you can use the data derived from the devices and stored in CloudSight automatically via API calls to a third-party application. It's very useful. And then CloudSight makes things more scalable. So it caters for unlimited homes. You can have unlimited services, unlimited devices for unlimited users, you can say. You go as you grow, so you can start small and grow your way into having lots of devices and services and, well, the complex of the combinations. There's less complexity because CloudSight is designed for and with the user. You can say that it's very easy to use. There's a help desk functionality in there, which is also is developed with end users, and it's it caters for error-free screens and dashboards and help tools for non-expert CSRs. And then you have user-centered design. So we typically looked at a couple of personas. You can see that in a minute. And from there, designed CloudSight. And obviously, all of this leads to not only happy employees from the network operations and customer service perspective, but also to happy customers. The quality of experience increases. There is a self-service tool, which obviously allows the end user to have a 24/7 support and optimization for his Wi-Fi network. And there is proactive support, so also this adds to the customer satisfaction. And with CloudSight, it allows you to have more control. So the system takes care of the monitoring of the network, of the devices, of the services. And once something is off, it generates alarms. And you will be notified in that way that something is off and action is needed. There is a network overview, a nice topology map, which shows the weak spots in your network. And there is an in-home topology map, so you can dive in as deep as you want into the customer's premises to see and to analyze the root cause of the problem. And finally, it offers a lot more security because there's identity management in there. you can make sure that not only CloudSight, but also the devices are updated to the latest security patches. And there is a secure protocol also coming out of this TR69 and 369. So the communication protocols are very secure, and we have a blacklisting and whitelisting, so that prevents unauthorized devices or homes being part of the CloudSight environment. So all of this leads to huge business benefits, and obviously we would like to discuss your benefits in more detail, depending on your deployment scenario. But in general, you can say that there is a huge reduction on installation and setup calls. There is a reduction on general support calls, engineer callouts, and there is an increased customer satisfaction and premium customer rate. So it definitely helps you to lower your OPEX, to increase your ARPU and your customer satisfaction, and with that to allow for a churn reduction. Then, like I mentioned, CloudSight is designed for purpose. So we designed CloudSight with the end user in mind. And we talked to a lot of customers and end users and looked at every aspect of CloudSight and make it highly functional and usable. So there's basically 4 types of personas or end users, you can say. It's the system administrator. This is the department that daily looks at the CloudSight server system and the system performance. Then there's the network operator that looks at the device lifecycle management and the network. The customer operator that looks at the customer side of things and makes sure that the devices and the services are provisioned correctly. And there is a troubleshooting and proactive problem resolution in place. And then, of course, there's the end user who wants to be empowered and have local self-management. So if you look at the system administrator, these are typically things they want, and CloudSight is catered for. It's a fast and simple setup and installation. So once you start with CloudSight, there is no intensive training needed. The screens are very intuitive, and obviously you can count on our support to get you started and have the right configuration on board. It's very flexible, integratable with OSS BSS using the API calls. We can obviously have the support on board to help you with that and to integrate CloudSight in your landscape. Incident alarms, so you are being triggered and notified once something is off or drops behind a specific performance threshold. There's access right management, so you can give the right people the right access levels to CloudSight. And an important part is it's offered as a SaaS, a subscription service, so there's no upfront investment needed. You go as you grow, you can start small and grow your way from there. And you can choose for an on-premise solution or a hosted platform. So on that part, also very flexible. Then if you look at the network operator, you can say that for the network operator, easy provisioning with predefined scripts is making his life a lot easier. It's an error-free, single-touch provisioning scenario, and you can run that also with non-expert network operators. CloudSight keeps your devices secure, so if there is an upgrade or a firmware update needed, there will be a notification. The incident notification, if something is off, you will be alarmed and notified with that. And with network inventory, you always have a clear view on what devices and what services and what firmware updates are actually being deployed in your network, and you can act from there. And then there is proactive and preventive support, like I said, and also here on the network management part, there is BSS OSS integration possible. So, and finally, for the customer care agent, obviously it's important to act on customer calls and have remote device access during the call. So if a customer calls in, the customer care agent can see what's happening at the customer premises and perform quality of experience test like speed test or latency test. There is an instant root cause analysis. So with artificial intelligence and combining data sets, we can make sure that the root cause is found in seconds, which is very helpful. And then there is a health status of the in-home network and recommended solutions. Also, if it's outside the network or something is off within the clients connected to the gateways. It has a very intuitive user interface, so it can be used for expert and non-expert customer service representatives. And what's important, it's ready to use. So you don't need extra training here. It's very intuitive, and you can use it instantly or parts of it. So to summarize the CloudSight benefits, you can say easy to use. That's a very important factor, and it's designed for purpose with the end user in mind. It's open to integrate in your IT landscape, but also to your different devices in the park. No upfront investment. You pay as you grow as a subscription, and there is tailored support if needed, from a professional service to a support service. You can have the support that you need. So to summarize all this, you can say a lot of things are going on in the industry. There's technology push, customers' expectations are rising, and they offer a huge business opportunity for a typical service provider and operator. And as an operator or service provider, you need the right tools to manage all this new connectivity and combine that with your legacy environment. And CloudSight offers an open and easy to use cloud management solution. And well, that I think covers this presentation. So with cloud management, it helps you to grow and to manage the growing complexity of in-home networks. And we are very glad to help you explore the benefits of CloudSight for your organization. So please contact us or your local sales contact for more information, and we gladly look at the deployment scenarios of CloudSight at your premises.
Genexis, because people deserve fiber.